Lawmakers in Louisiana recently passed a gun law saying that if you are 18 and older, come July of this year, you do not need to have a permit, a registered firearm, or even know how to use one in order to use one. Okay. Now, currently, they have a gun law basically say you have to have a permit to have a concealed weapon. But again, in July, all of that is going to go away. And so when I heard about that, I was like, oh, well, that's kind of odd. Why would they do that? Because we know in Texas, they have a law that is similar. Well, I look at the demographics of Louisiana, and Louisiana is the third worst in crime rates in America. Louisiana has about a 33% black population with about a 64 black population in prison. So 64% of the prisoners basically are black. And so I'm like, well, if Louisiana has a high crime rate, why would you want to allow just any and everybody to carry guns? Especially in places in Louisiana, we know that in our communities, crime rate is really high. It doesn't really get talked about a lot for some reason, because we always hear about places like Chicago, New York, and places like that. But Louisiana rarely gets an honorable mention, if you will. But nevertheless, they're going to allow people 18 and older to carry guns with no paperwork or nothing. And so I want to say this to black people there in Louisiana: be careful, move wisely. Get you a permit to carry. Go and learn how to use the firearm. Don't get caught riding dirty. Don't get caught slipping. Because listen, I watch shows like Locked Up and all of that, and I've seen a lot of shows that featured Angola, which sounds like it's one of the worst prisons in the world, right? And so what I'm saying is, if you get caught slipping, even though they said, hey, go out there and corral without having a permit or anything, don't do it. It's probably a trap, because we know that that's already an issue. Listen, America, as they say, has a love affair with guns. There are more guns than there are American citizens, right? And we know that sometimes those guns end up in the wrong hands, especially with youth and all those other things. And so don't take this as a green light for you to go out there and just get you one on each side, right? Like, Yosemite Sam. Don't do that, because they'll find these little loopholes to say, well, yeah, we said you could. However, and of course there is a stand your ground law there. So that's kind of going to give people the green light, if you ask me, to go out there and pew it up. Just don't have that be you, because they'll find a loophole to say, well, that didn't really apply to you in this situation because right? Don't do it anywhere, not even just Louisiana, Texas, or wherever they're saying you don't need a permit to carry. Just go out there and do your thing. Don't do it. Black people, I'm especially talking to you, because there's enough of us in prison. And we know that a lot of prisons are private. And in order to have a private prison, you need to have investors. And what do investors look for? Investors look for a return on their investment. And in order to guarantee a return on an investment to investors, they have to guarantee occupancy, which means they have to guarantee, in a lot of cases, that 90% of those beds in prisons are full in order for those investors to get their money back. And so some of these laws, and this is just my speculation, I have no inside knowledge, but I'm speculating that some of these laws are to help fuel some of those prisons. So investors can say, oh, okay, that was worth my investment, because how do you have a prison if you don't have prisoners? Right? So they need those beds filled of people. That ain't got to be you. If you want to go to a bed somewhere that's other than your home, go stay at a hotel somewhere. Go on vacation. But don't pick up a pew and roll out there like the Wild Wild West and get caught up, because that's what it is, a trap. So y'all tell me what you think of that. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, the Demetra Kaye.